Osage City Public Library, Rachael Rost, Education Specialist at the Topeka Zoo, here with you today, and we are going to meet a big animal at the zoo, talking about your summer reading theme of Imagine Your Story. Because we're filming at the zoo, I couldn't resist but to let you guys meet our biggest resident land animal, the elephants. So here at the zoo, we have 2 elephants in our collection. We have one Asian elephant, her name is Cora, and we have one African elephant, her name is Tembo. And both of these girls are on the older side. Cora, the Asian elephant, as her name suggests, is from Asia. She is 60 years old. And Tembo, the African elephant, is 50 years old. Now, both of those are on the upper end of their lifespan, but here at the Topeka Zoo, our keepers focus on geriatric care for many of our animals, including our elephants. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about elephants for our Imagine Your Story theme is because elephants are in a lot of stories, a lot of books that you might read, and you might come across some myths about them. However, elephants are also very important animals in a zoo because they have a really good conservation message to share. So elephants, living over in Africa and Asia, one of the easiest ways to tell the difference is by looking at their ears. African elephants, like Tembo, have really big ears. In fact, when they stick them out like this, it looks like the shape of the African continent. They are really big. Also, African elephants, both males and females, have tusks, which are just long teeth that have stretched in front of their face. Asian elephants, on the other hand, they have smaller ears. They're not very big when they stick them out. And only male Asian elephants have tusks. The females do not. So if you look over at Cora here, you'll notice she has smaller ears and no tusks. Now, Tembo, at the moment, is not showing us her face. She does have tusks, but she's broken one of them off. So it's actually hard to see the one that is less. Just like you can break your teeth, elephants are able to break their tusks. Thankfully, it was a clean break. It doesn't hurt her anymore, but she does only have one tusk left. So that is how you can tell the difference. But both African and Asian elephants are declining for several reasons. Habitat loss, particularly over in Asia, is a very big problem, and poaching over in Africa is the main problem. Poaching is when animals are either taken out of the wild as pets or killed for their parts. And people are killing African elephants for those tusks. Those tusks are made out of ivory, which is a rare material. So if you have some, that means you are worth something, and it elevates your social status by owning one. It's kind of similar to driving a fast car or owning a big mansion. People that have ivory in their homes, it makes them look rich and fancy for their friends. So elephants are killed for their tusks, which are turned into statues and jewelry and other things that humans don't need. So African elephants are declining at a pretty alarming rate. Anywhere from 55 to 96 African elephants are poached. They are killed every single day for their tusks, which is very sad. So as you're reading and as you're learning about elephants, do pay attention to what is going on with them, because humans, while we are doing the bad, we can also help do good things. If we never purchase ivory, if we raise awareness on the habitat loss and why these animals are so important, then we can start to protect them and see their numbers go up. Now, in some of the books you might read, you might learn that elephants are actually very intelligent animals. They live in social units that are led by the oldest female matriarchal groups, which I think is pretty fascinating. Cora, although there's only 2 here, she is our matriarch of this small herd. She is the one in charge. Now, elephants are very important because they serve a variety of functions. Especially over in Africa, they do 2 really neat things. One, elephants are herbivores. They eat only plants. And during that means they have to go to the bathroom a lot. So as they're eating seeds of plants, they are walking quite a long ways and they're pooping, yes, I said pooping, out those seeds. So they are helping new plants to grow over in the savanna in Africa. Also, they can eat really big plants like trees. And so African elephants are keystone species, which means they play a really important role in the ecosystem because they help keep the trees away from the grasslands and they preserve that savanna. If we lost our elephants, woodlands and trees would take over that ecosystem and a lot of the landscape would change. So elephants are important in that regard. Our elephants are so smart that their keepers have to reset the yard 3 times a day with differing food items so that they, 1, have enough food to eat, and 2, are mentally and physically stimulated so that they walk a lot, they find their food, and they have a good time doing it. So in their exhibit, you will notice that there is lots of enrichment items for them. They've got a sprinkler going on over here. They sometimes get mud baths, which is one of their favorites. They've got a big awning for shade. They've got a pool. They've got logs. They've got toys. All of this is because they are so smart, and we want to give them plenty of options every single day for things that they should be doing, right? Now, elephants, there are some myths regarding elephants in books. For one, you might have heard that elephants are afraid of mice. Well, this is a myth. It is not true. Elephants, they don't really care about mice. But one really thing that conservationists have found is elephants are afraid of bees, which that makes sense, right? Bees can sting, they can swarm, so you do want to be careful of bees. Well, scientists and researchers are using this to their advantage because over in Africa and Asia, sometimes elephants, because they are so big and they are so smart, sometimes they get into the crops of humans and they start raiding our own crop fields. Well, obviously, the people and the farmers over in these areas don't like the elephants stealing their food. So as opposed to harming them or poisoning them, what they figured out they can do is actually hang up beehives around the perimeter of their crop fields. And because elephants are scared of the beehives and don't like them, they leave them alone. So talk about a really innovative way to help overcome a problem with human and animals so that they can both coexist. Now, elephants are the largest land mammal on Earth. Males generally get bigger than females. They can weigh up to 12,000 pounds. Now, our 2 girls are not that big. Cora weighs around 7,000 pounds, and Tembo weighs over 8,000 pounds. So she is a little bit bigger, but they are still a respectable size. And that's because they have to eat a lot. They do get so big. They have a lot of space over in Africa, so they get really big, and they have to eat, and then they have to poop pretty big amounts themselves as well. So they use that trunk. It's very characteristic. There are up to 150,000 muscles in the trunk, and they use that to grab things, they use it to drink water, and they use it to alert themselves as what is around. Now, our zookeepers here at the Topeka Zoo do an excellent job of making sure our old girls stay healthy. They get baths, they get foot care, they get dental care, they get veterinary care. They are some very cute, very spoiled elephants, and that is how we love to have them. But we have these 2 girls at the Topeka Zoo because they have a story to tell. Over the summer, as you are learning all about your summer reading programs, you might find stories of elephants. And unfortunately, as we talked about, their numbers are declining. But they are very majestic species, and we want to do everything we can to protect them. So next time you're at the Topeka Zoo, visit Cora and Tembo, learn all about elephants, and tell others to not buy ivory because we must protect them. Now, one final fun fact on elephants, especially if you're a child of the 80s, if you're a parent watching this or you like old movies, Cora here is actually a movie star elephant. She was featured in a real movie back in the 1980s. Smokey and the Bandit 2, there is an elephant in it, and that elephant is our very own Cora, the Asian elephant, which I think is a pretty fun fact. Now, if you want to talk about strength, elephants are very, very strong. I want to flip the camera around real quick to this log right here. This log is out of their enclosure, but it is so big and so strong that we did not move this. Tembo, our big African elephant, actually picked that up out of her enclosure and threw it. Now, thankfully, she didn't get hurt. Nobody else got hurt. But the fact that she was able to pick up that big log and throw it was pretty fascinating to us. So it just shows just how strong and neat these elephants are. Alrighty, well, Osage City Public Library, want to thank you guys for watching. We hope to see you at the zoo soon and continue your summer reading. Bye!